Sebastian, welcome to the party. And my show is on fire today. I've got all these people watching because of you. So let's not get them, let's not keep them waiting for too long. Or maybe we should. I don't know. But if you don't know me yet, my name is Dr. Lulu, a.k.a. the Momatrician. That's my baby son right there. My baby son. My eldest is my non-binary young adult human, and they are in school. My middle son is also in school. So you got me and my dog. But the show is called The Pride Corner. That corner right there. And it is a show where I talk to queer people and allies. I wanted to do it for Pride Month, but it has taken a life of its own, and I have folks booked into July. So before I forget, if you would like to get on this show as an ally, as a homophobe, as a racist, as anybody, come on, let's see if we can work together, because I think together we go further. So send me a DM and I'll make it happen. But my guest today is Sebastian. Sebastian, welcome. So I coach parents of queer kids. I help them with their acceptance, support, and understanding journey of what just happened to them. But really, I do it very quickly, 8 to 10 weeks, because you gotta get out of that mindset so you can get into your child's mindset. And that's why Sebastian is here today. So Sebastian, before you start, tell us something about you that no one knows.
Oh my gosh.
Yes! I can tell you mine if you tell me yours.
Gosh, that's a really, I feel like I'm pretty open about my life. I'm not sure if there's something that people don't know about me. Wow, that's putting me on the spot. Nothing is honestly coming up. I mean, people know so much about me. I share everything pretty much.
Well, let me tell you mine. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. So mine is I have a third nipple.
Okay.
So it's something as simple as that. I had a girl who came on the show. She said she has to sing every time she has a difficult conversation. She sings the words. Another lady said she likes anime. She's a closeted anime lover. So all of these things are options, baby. Go for it.
I mean,
I'm trying to get my fan, because I get hot flashes. Trying to get my fan to face me. So keep thinking.
Yeah, I mean, people know this, that I have been a Housewives fanatic. I love my Housewives and my Bravo. I am a Kardashian fan. I do watch the show. What else?
Is there something, okay, how about this? Is there something only your mother knows about you? Did you maybe suck your thumb when you were a baby? I don't know, baby.
I
but
probably
you're
did,
not going to escape. You have to answer this question. Otherwise,
also, I did over quarantine, I did a podcast called Chasing Happy, which is like a 16-chapter nonfiction narrative podcast about my life. And I pretty much reveal every detail, I dived into the shadows of my life and I talk about that. So I guess I used to like to bite my toenails. How's that?
I'll take that. I wasn't looking for freaky, but I'll take that, okay? I love it. So welcome to the show. It is going to be fun. Someone already said, love this convo, so animated. Listen, if you're going to be in my space, you better let go of all of that, because I'm going to pull it out of you. So if you don't know me yet, and if you're not following me yet, what are you waiting for? That's my name. Ask Dr. Lulu. Let's go. So Sebastian, my darling, tell me, why did you decide to come on this show? Like, what else is left for you to talk about? Why are you on, and why? Oh, why? First of all, thank you for coming, first ever Instagram live with me. But why?
Great question. Well, we met on Clubhouse. For those of you who are not on Clubhouse, you should get on Clubhouse. And I co-moderate this room with I think they're watching. Cody, Maurice Dalguette, he's watching, and Steve V. We co-mod a room on Tuesday nights called Sex Positivity LGBTQ plus, and we have different topics that we discuss. And one night you popped into the room and you joined the conversation, and we were all literally like, after you spoke, we were all literally like this. Like, you just floored us. Your energy was incredible. I love your mission. I love what you're doing. I think it's so important. I've actually never heard anyone doing what you're doing who's actually like reaching out to the parents of queer children to help them better understand their kids and be better parents. I think that's just so incredible. So you asked me, you said you asked me to be on your show, and I didn't hesitate. And I'm happy to be popping my IG Live cherry with you, and anything that I can do to support you in your mission, I'm here for it, because I think it's super important. So I'm a fan of yours. That's why I'm here. I'm a fan of you.
Wow. Let me tell you something. If I wasn't going to record this and upload it as a podcast, I will after that intro. So everyone is just like, they're killing me here. So where's, it's get it, sis, and then, yes, sex positivity, LGBT. I thought it was on Thursdays. Is it on Tuesdays?
We moved it because just work scheduling and things. So now we're on Tuesdays.
Okay, well, now I need to remember that. And someone says, that's freaky, LOL, because you said, someone says freaky is biting someone else's toenails. And then I
wasn't biting someone else's toenails.
You're biting your own toenails.
It was my toenail. It was my, and I was young. I was much younger. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, as a 9-month-old, you could do that. But how old were you?
I mean, I was younger days, like my 20s probably, but I was still doing it. But I don't do it anymore.
Well, let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you something that's really going to blow your mind. And, you know, I know she's not watching. My soon-to-be ex was really mammally endowed, okay? When we first met, she could suck her own nipple.
Okay. I can't deny that I haven't maybe seen that in a video or something.
I have never. Let me tell you, that for me tops it, okay? It was so like, for me. But anyway, but yeah, so let's get started. So the show is about serious business though. And I realized that there's no better person to carry a heavy topic like youth suicide prevention, parental rejection, homelessness in the LGBTQ plus society. I mean, LGBT, that's why I say queer community. I don't know anyone that can carry that more than me and you, because I like the way you approach life, like from a very laid back, laissez-faire, like whatever, you know, let's do it, whatever. So I want you to tell us your coming out story.
Sure. It's interesting. I was thinking about it. I knew you were going to ask me about this, so I have been thinking about it. And it's interesting because I have 3 instances that come up in my life, and actually I wasn't in control of any of them. I wish I'd turned my notifications off. I was sort of outed in a way 3 different times. And the first time was when I was in high school, and I was outed by one of my best friends, actually, who
turned out to be gay.
Well, he was gay. He was actually the first person that ever like made a move on me when he was like staying at my we were having a sleepover, and you know, he was like, the hands started moving, and I actually got freaked out. I was like a freshman in high school, and I just got freaked out and moved. But then later, we ended up screwing around a little bit in high school, but he ended up telling our friends that I was gay, to sort of deflect from his own issues and what he was going through. So he outed me to all of our close friends. So that was uncomfortable to say the least. So that's really was my first coming out was with my friends, was being outed by this high school friend. My first real experience with betrayal, really. And the second time was I was a young dancer in LA, and I had befriended a choreographer who was a son of like a famous person, and he was a choreographer and a dance teacher. And then there was like a tabloid article that came out, and he was on the cover, and it was like, this person's son is gay. And my mom knew that I was friends with this person, so my mom asked me, are you gay?
Oh.
And I was like, I was not ready at the time. And of course I was like, why do you say that? And she was like, all your friends are gay. And I was like, all my friends aren't gay. You're talking about one friend. Anyway, but that's, I ended up, you know, revealing that I was gay to her then, but that also wasn't that was also not in my control. And then the third time was when I was in my early 30s. I was in an acting class, and I was like a closeted actor. I was out of the closet, and then as a dancer. And then when I started to pursue acting in the early 2000s, I felt like I had to go back in the closet because there were no out gay actors at the time. So I was sort of like back in the closet in a weird way. So in my acting class, I wasn't really out. But my teacher actually said to me during like the notes session after one of the scenes, said something about how an acting choice I made it because I was gay. And I hadn't talked to anybody in the class about it. And that was another time it was sort of like taken out of my hands, and sort of like, you know, I was outed in front of all my classmates in my acting class. And that hurt. That was rough. So those are really my three coming out / being outed stories.
So you're saying to me that, well, you know, even before I say that, if you can hear my voice, if you can hear Sebastian's voice, please send, and what are your pronouns? He, him? Yes?
He, him, they, I guess.
They, okay, so he, him, they. So send them flowers. If you can hear my voice right now, send them flowers, and I'll tell you why. And how do you do that? Type the word flowers, and flowers will pop up, and just send. I want you to do that. Send love or send flowers if you can hear my voice, because Sebastian, you're telling me right now that it looks like you never really have had any intentional coming out on your own. Like I want to do this because I want to do this. Is that what you're saying to me right now?
As a gay person, yeah, I guess I never really did. It was all out of my control.
It was all, yeah. That is crazy, but I thank you for that, because, you know, I never know which way, whether it's this podcast, which is about, you know, LGBTQ family, or whether it's my regular podcast, which is about suicide. I never know which way my discussions are going to go. Now, looking at you, I would have never thought that. I would have thought you were given the opportunity. And if you can hear my voice, please hear this. If you look at my story today, you see that on my TikTok, I responded to a question, which is, Dr. Lulu, if my child comes out to me, should I tell my other half or my other parents or whatever? And the answer today was, when you tell somebody something, if you ask them to share and they share, then it's okay. If you ask them not to share and they share, it's not okay. So when it comes to your child's coming out, ask your child if it's okay to share. Someone please type that. If you can hear my voice, please type that. When it comes to your child's coming out, ask your child if it's okay to share. Ask your friends if it's okay to share. Ask your neighbor if it's okay to share. If someone is not okay with you sharing, do not share. So Sebastian, you didn't give them permission. Nobody wants to be outed. Now, it might be funny and you giggle a little bit, have an awkward laugh, but you were not ready. And that is trauma. And people might not look at it as anything major, but 1 trauma, 2 trauma, 3 trauma is now a whole lot of trauma. And so, I mean, I don't mean to take you down that rabbit hole. It is the work that I do. So, I mean, it's unavoidable, it's inevitable, whatever. We're going to have to talk about pain a little bit which it shouldn't be so, but it is so. So how, oh my goodness, do you feel that you were accepted? Because my platform, my whole premise is about acceptance of queer people by queer or non-queer people. So hold that thought. As you're thinking about that, I'm going to reset the room. So the show is called The Pride Corner by your gorgeous host, me, and my even more gorgeous host, Sebastian. We're talking about, I know, look at that flushing, look at all that redness coming up. And we're talking about stuff that needs to be talked about that most people don't talk about. So welcome to the show. Normally I call out names, but there's so many of all of your tribe are here. So let me steal them. So if you're not following me, follow me right now. And then you can catch the show on the replay. You can catch the show tomorrow, the day after, and then you can watch all the ones we've done since the month of June. So we're talking about our coming out stories and more. And Sebastian is under the lights today. My name is Dr. Lulu. I am a pediatrician about to retire, but I'm also a mom of a non-binary young adult human. That's not them, but that's their baby brother. But more importantly, I am a life coach for parents of queer kids struggling, as it were, with the news that their child is bi or asexual or pan or whatever your child comes to you with. So Sebastian has just shared with us some really personal stuff from way back when they were younger, and see how people don't forget. I could see in your eyes that those episodes, though multiple, were not welcomed by your spirit. You didn't ask anybody to out you. Like, I got this. When I'm ready, I'll out myself. So now, Sebastian, coming to the next part of the questions, do you feel like you were accepted when you were outed, or when now or then, or however, whenever? Do you feel like your coming out was accepted, was met with acceptance?
Actually, I mean, I do actually. Even though in high school I was outed to my friends, I feel like they still accepted me, but it was, you know, it was me harboring that emotion of being outed and feeling betrayed, and but then also repressing all of those emotions. And then when I came out to my mom, when we had that conversation, when she asked me, she definitely accepted me. I was fortunate to have a gay uncle, her brother, and then also a great uncle who was also gay. So I think that helped her in her acceptance of me. You know, she had her process that she went through as well, which is totally acceptable, and I, held space for that. I mean, I didn't know I was holding space. I didn't use those words back then.
I know. That's one of my favorite phrases right now. Is actually every time I use the word hold space, I cry inside. I think it's the most beautiful, and sometimes outside, and I'm going to get emotional now. I just think it's like the most beautiful thing I always get emotional because I just think it's just so beautiful when you can literally hold space for someone as they go through what they're going through. And that's what I do for parents all the time. I just come, like, it's okay not to know everything. It's okay to freak out. It's just not okay to reject. It's not okay to take over. Those things are not okay, but it's okay to not know and not be sure and even doubt and even be afraid. It's okay. So I think that's what I got from the phrase hold space. I think it's the most beautiful phrase after compassion and kindness. I think hold space is next. But I don't want to take over. Go ahead. I just always get emotional when I hear that. But go ahead.
No, that was beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. That was, I really appreciate that. But yeah, so my mom definitely, found her way to accepting me, and we're super close right now, and we have so much love for each other. And
I thought your mother was supposed to come, Sebastian.
I think she's here.
No, she was supposed to come on the show with you live.
She what? She was?
I manifested that in my brain, honey. But let me know. Tell me who your mother is, and I'll see if she can ask to join. Mama, Sebastian.
She won't join. She
No,
won't
won't.
join, but she's
Oh.
watching and she's supporting and she's showing love.
Very
But
good.
and then
Thank
also
you.
when in my acting class too, I feel like they were like, it's no big deal. I guess no one said anything, but it was me because I felt, you know, again, betrayed because I wasn't ready to share that with my acting class because I didn't want to be treated differently. Because that was the thing back then with like being an out actor or being a gay actor is like I didn't want to be treated differently. Just like when my teacher said you made that choice because you were gay, like he never said that to straight people, like the straight guys, like you made that choice because you were straight or something like that. It was just that was probably the one that like hurt the most, I think, because it just yes, that Coach bag.
I love
Yeah,
that Coach bag.
that's the one that hurt the most. But eventually they didn't have any issues with it. It was more me that had to deal with being outed, accepting myself. That's really what it was about. That's the most thing. The biggest part of acceptance was I had to learn to accept myself, which, I've only just begun to do. I spent decades, where I wasn't in self-acceptance mode at all. And fully on this path of like trying to prove to the world and to myself that I had value and that I mattered. And then I was just seeking everything from external sources, from people and from a career and from a culture, from a community, looking for acceptance outside of myself for so many years. So the self-acceptance was definitely has been a big part of my journey, which I think it is for most people in general. Self-acceptance is not just specifically for the queer community, but that's a big part of it. It's self-acceptance and self-forgiveness. Those they go hand in hand.
If you can hear Sebastian's voice, please send us love. You are talking serious junk today. I love it. And someone is like, who is Lulu? She's fantastic. Well, first of all, I am Dr. Lulu. Thank you very much. But yeah, I appreciate that. I think I'm fantastic, if I have to say so myself. But thank you so much, AKA Marco. I have a brand new fan up in here. I'm going to pin that comment. Why not? So here's the deal. Send us some love. Send Sebastian some love. And here's why. Sebastian, everyone else who's come on my show, who's been queer, has announced that they first did self-acceptance. You are one of two who have said you are still struggling with self-acceptance, and then you were outed by others who accepted you. But I don't know if it matters or not, but we're going to get to that in a second. You also said this is just the beginning, and I think it's fair to say that self-acceptance ideally should be the beginning. But we know that there are so many reasons why people don't accept themselves. Whether it's me, I struggle with the sound of my voice, believe it or not, as much as people tell me.
Oh, I love your voice.
I know. I was just going to say that. People tell me all the time, your voice is unique. But when I listen to my voice, I'm like, oh, it's deep, it's hoarse, it's heavy. And then people always tell me, people say, yes, sir, on the phone. And I'm like, oh, so self-conscious. But I do know, that, it's taken me, I don't know if I'm there yet, even with my voice, even as I want to accept my voice. But you're right. There are many, many levels of self-acceptance. It's not only with the queer people. Lots of people just need to try to accept themselves on so many levels. So the next part of the question is, do you think that journey of self-acceptance or lack thereof, or acceptance by your friends or lack thereof, how has that affected who you are or who you became today? Has that or has it not? And welcome to everyone who is joining. I feel like the entire universe is on this show. I need to have you on my show every freaking month. For the numbers, baby. Yes. All right, go.
Well, here's what I will say about that. I have now come to a point in my life where I realize how everything unfolds. And I realize the beauty and the perfection of everything that we call obstacles and challenges. I believe that being queer and being a person of color is really living on the front lines of evolution. We really serve such a purpose in helping humanity move forward and sort of liberate themselves from these constructs, social constructs that have been imprisoning us for generations and generations. So the work that we're doing, the people who are on the earth right now, living a queer life out loud and proud, and people of color, Asian, Black, Indigenous, you know, Latins, everyone, it's such important work. And so I feel like learning that lesson that,
oh no,
there are no necessarily handicaps, there are no obstacles, that everything is an opportunity to learn about the self, and how that journey to learn about the self, to learn self-love, to learn to accept and to forgive your past, because it's all making you who you are, it's all leading you back to yourself, is such an important journey. So it's all been just an incredible, eye-opening realization. And I love every step of my journey, every betrayal, every outing, every you know, challenge, because it was all guiding me. That's the thing, like everything is guiding us to these discoveries, and that's what I find so beautiful and so liberating. And so did that answer your question?
You know what? Let me tell you something. It did, and then it didn't, because it opened up even more. I love it because I took notes. Everything is an opportunity to self-love and self-forgiveness. I truly think that was God speaking through you. And yes, I think God is non-binary, but that's another day's conversation. I think that was them speaking through you. And I'm like you, when someone asks me a question, ultimately my subconscious will give me the answers. Sometimes I go all the way around and I come back to it. Sometimes I go all the way and I go away. But I know every step of the way someone is getting something. So Sebastian, you are killing me today. I love it. If you're just joining us, the show is called The Pride Corner, that corner right there. My name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Momatrician. I'm a mom and I'm a pediatrician. And yes, I own rights to that name. I am also a coach for parents of queer youth. I help them with the journey towards acceptance. So my premise, the whole idea of this show called Our Coming Out Stories and More, is talking about acceptance. Now, I never thought it was going to be self-acceptance, but everybody that I interview ultimately brings me back to self-acceptance. My guest today is the one, the only, the mustached one, Sebastian, honey. Well, Sebastian, don't you think I deserve, wait, on a serious note, do you think I should have my own TV show, Sebastian?
1000%. Yeah,
yes!
I would watch.
I am not Oprah, but I'm the one and only Dr. Lulu, honey. Never even imitated. You can't imitate this. So here's the deal.
Can't.
I am putting the energy out there. If you can hear me, TV people, holla at your girl. Okay? I'm going to be on Gayle King's show tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's major.
Yes. And I say that because one of the people that I was manifesting was Oprah. Hold on 1 second. I want to show you something, Sebastian. This is my most recent book. It's about immigrant women. Who's that? Who's that girl? Who's that?
Yes,
and,
honey.
So we are telling our stories in words and pictures, okay? And so I was like, I need Oprah to get this book. And now Gayle King is coming to my living room tomorrow.
That's incredible.
So
wow.
You think her best friend is going to be reading this book in about a week?
Let's hope so.
Yes.
Wow.
So if you're not following me yet, you better start, because when I blow up and get that TV show, Sebastian, you're one of my first guests if you're not my first guest, because I love what I'm hearing from you today. It is so authentic, so real. But also the truth about life is, if we don't tell our stories, imagine that there's someone in there who needs to hear your story today, Sebastian. And that is why we must share our stories, bringing you back to the show called The Pride Corner. Our coming out stories and more. We need to talk about the pain, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. the fact that all of those betrayals of yours molded you to the beautiful human being that you are today. So, and I asked my child this. I said, do you think that all of that struggle is the word I use, all of those struggles helped to mold you to who you are today? You know what my child said? My non-binary child said, Mom, I don't believe in the struggle just to be struggling. I don't think I should have struggled. And this is so powerful, but this is true. Queer kids do not need to go through pain. You shouldn't have to come out from anywhere. Where are you anyway that you're coming out? And the reason I work with parents, because I don't want parents to inadvertently replace their kids in the closet. I don't want that. So I'm helping them stay afloat as they do not hijack the agenda, because it's not about them. My book is called It's Not About You, the A through Z of raising your LGBTQ plus child. But I need people to hear me when I say the children is about the children. It's about the inner child, Sebastian. It's about who you were when you were hurt, regardless of who you are today. I don't know where I was going with that, but that sounded smart. So Sebastian, you think you're the only one that goes off on a tangent?
Well, you know, what just came up for me is when you were talking about, you know, going into really the shadow, all of that. It's really about looking at that trauma, which I've just recently, like the past couple of years, I've been dealing with, because, you know, when we repress emotions and we have shame, you know, all that lives in the body. And until we get still and hold space for ourselves, for us to look at that so that it can come up, we have to pay attention to it. It needs to be alchemized. It needs to be integrated. Otherwise, it's just living in the body. And that's really what's hurting us. That's what triggers are. When we get triggered by things, it's like repressed emotion that we haven't dealt with.
Yes.
So it's so important to look in your shadow. And I've also learned that it's really about how we help others is really learning to know ourselves. Because how you learn to love and accept and forgive yourself, how you learn to love yourself is in direct proportion to how you love others. And I know that's kind of hard sometimes for people to really understand, because some people feel like, I don't love myself, but I can definitely love others. But that's really sort of like a conditional love. I feel it's really about getting to know yourself and really learning to love and accept yourself. And that's really how you change the world, really, because it's not about trying to change other people. It's really about being the light yourself and illuminating the world that way, not trying to change someone else's opinion. It's almost about be as bright of a light as you can to illuminate maybe their shadow themselves, but you can't go in and illuminate their own shadow. They have to do that themselves.
Amen. Amen. And since I started looking into thought work, the subconscious, you know, that what you just said, that is uncommon wisdom. That came from your days and hours of meditation. Because when I started looking into subconscious work, spirituality versus religion, mind work, thought work, I realized every single thing. Like, okay, I was talking about how when I turned 40, for instance, I wanted a red 2-door convertible hardtop Mercedes, okay? So I told my best friend then, I told her about it. I said, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to get. Now, she was turning 43, and I was turning 40 the next year. Do you know she turned 43 in August, and I turned 40 in the March of the next year, and then she bought the car that I wanted. And I was like, wait, but red is not even your favorite color. Like you don't even like red. But I made it about me. And I realized now, but I didn't realize then that she bought the car because of me, maybe because I planted the seeds of that. And then she now, imitation is the best form of flattery. She now said, oh my God, if she likes it, maybe I'll like it too. But I was so stuck in my brain. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't even appreciate the beautiful car that she bought. So you know what I did? I bought a red 2-door hardtop Volvo. Because I was like, I'm not going to get a Mercedes because my friend got a Mercedes. But isn't that silly? Like, isn't that even silly? Like, so my result was based on my own thought process, not hers. You know, I don't even know where I'm going with that, but that's a true statement.
Well, that just brings up for me, like, another thing I've realized in my life is like, for so many years, and a lot of us fall into this because of separation, right? We're on this race to win, and we're in competition and comparison with everyone else. And so everything is in service to our own self. We can even manipulate others to gain power so that we can service our own needs over anyone else, because it's like, it's eat or be eaten, right? You're a winner or a loser. So a lot of us are on that path of service to self. It's about me getting what I need. And that's the path I was on for many years as an actor. It was all about me trying to get famous and get on a show, and it was just me. How do I succeed?
Hey, that's me. I'm trying to get famous and get on the show. That's me.
but you're servicing others, and that's where I'm getting to now. Is like, I've realized that it's more about servicing others.
Speak for yourself, Sebastian, honey. Speak for yourself, honey, because.
Okay.
No, but I know what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. You're
and I'm
right.
not saying there's anything wrong with being an actor and get on a TV show. That was my journey and where my head was and what I was going through. That's not for you.
The same thing as me. I was making her car that she bought with her own money about me.
Right.
It's just crazy. But I of course I understand what you're saying. Welcome to the show, Lotus Love, Kim Powers, The Greech. I mean, everybody, welcome so much. I really, really love what I'm seeing. Raja G, welcome. I cannot go through all the names, but know that you are in my heart. Welcome to the show. The show is called The Pride Corner. Our coming out stories and more. Pieces of me, Michael. I love your name. And we're talking to the one and only Sebastian LaCause. And we are discussing, look at that. Every time I say that, you blush. I love that. You're the one and only, honey. Yeah, that God only made one of all of us. And so I love that you come on the show today to bless the audience. Everyone, can you give me water, please? To bless the audience with your knowledge. I didn't even know you could get so deep. I think this is like the deepest I've gotten in this show. You've really gotten all meta, philosophically, whatever else, because you meditate.
I love it. I love
it too. And I don't even know if this is you normally, but this is not me normally. I don't get too deep. I'm actually like, my blog is called Words by Black Butterfly, because I don't stay too long. I'm gone. I have fleeting moments. So if you can hear me, please type in Words by Black Butterfly. Anyone, that's my blog. If you want to check it out, sure. Also, my podcast is called Suicide Pages, if you want to check it out. But we're on the last quarter of the show. The show is called The Pride Corner, our coming out stories and more. And today we're talking about more. We're talking about more because, thank you, son. We're talking about more because honestly, hey, Dubem, come for a second, come. I want you all to meet that baby right there, okay? I want you all to meet them. Let's see if they will. Yay, that's my baby.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
That's that baby right there. Come out of the way. That baby right there. Look how much they've grown.
Amazing.
They grow up on you. Thank you, son. Oh my God, I'm not gonna hear the end of this. You put me up. Like, Mom, what do you mean? The big brother. Mom, what do you mean? Did he say he wanted to be on your show? Why would you embarrass him like that? I'm like, he must. But that's that baby there, and that's not the one that is in the queer community. That's just the one that's home right now. So Sebastian, what do you have to say to a parent who is maybe in your mom's space, maybe in the space where I was when my child first came out as non-binary, and I was like, what the is that? And I was like, what is it? What would you say to that parent? And then on the flip side, what would you say to the little Sebastian who was in the closet, not feeling so, I don't know, self-loving, all of that good stuff? What would you say to those two people today? Oh, hi, Savvy. Savvy, no, Savvy's my son's cousin. So, yeah, that's your baby. Look, and I'm wearing heels. I'm wearing some serious heels today. Yes. So, yeah, but so Sebastian,
Yeah.
talk to us. What would you say to that person, the mother?
Well, I think what comes up, I guess, when you ask a question about parents, I mean, it kind of circles back to what we were talking about in the sense of, I think it's really an opportunity. Again, it's not only about the queer child, right? Because the queer child is in the life of the parent. So this is also an opportunity for the parent to dive deeper and to examine their own self and their own limiting beliefs. I think that's why they're in the lives of each other. So almost it's an opportunity for the parent to start asking themselves some questions. And honestly, I think something that we should quickly, I want to quickly tap on.
Take your time.
Quickly tap on is that the idea that being gay or being queer is wrong is really just an idea. Like, show me the receipts.
God.
It's really just an idea that a human being had generations and generations ago, and then they said it, and then other human beings agreed to it, and it became a belief. But it's really just an idea. There's no proof.
Call it a thought. I even want to call it a thought. That
Yeah.
they let the thought come, and then they offered the thought milk and cookies, and then the thought stayed. Because you know what
exactly.
I mean? It was one person's thought. Thank you so much for going there, Sebastian. Let me ask you in front of all of your fans, will you please come back? Because I really believe in my heart that we have so much more to say. Will you please come back?
Of course I will. Yeah, I'm happy to. Yes.
All right, but keep going. An idea that someone bought and sold, and we all bought it, hook, line, and sinker.
And everyone bought it. So really now, and no one questions it. That's the thing. Like, that we're just believing this because our father told us, and then his father told him, and it's really just, okay, this is idea that queer people are going to hell. So, well, let's just believe it. There's literally no proof anywhere, and the only proof that you could actually have is if you died and source told you, it's literally
that. You have to
it's literally an idea.
Yeah, you have to first die, go to heaven, check it out, it's full of gays, come back, and then tell us. And until that
well,
happens,
first of all, heaven is on earth. Heaven is here.
Okay.
Heaven is here. Heaven is perspective. Heaven is like, are you looking through the lens of unity and peace and positivity? That's heaven. Or are you looking at life through the lens of lack and scarcity and fear and doubt? That's hell.
That's hell. Don't thank you, because and I say this all the time because I'm a Catholic, okay? I say it because the Catholics are there, the Christians are there, and they want to push this agenda that they're all about love, except if you're not black, you're not gay, you're not Nigerian, you're not. So at what point did the Jesus that they follow do all of that?
Right.
It's very poor Jesus, because I think Jesus was gay anyway, but that's another day's conversation. Poor Jesus, because he is getting how many? Well, okay, let's go there. How many heterosexual 33-year-old men are single? 1, 2. How many heterosexual 33-year-old men wear dresses. All right, never mind. Forget that. Let's go. So,
I love
like
it.
I was saying, it's a construct, it's a mindset, it's an idea, it's a thought. And thoughts can be changed. You can
Just
change
start asking
thoughts.
yourself.
That's it.
Yes. It's about asking yourself questions. Start asking yourself questions. And that's what these parents of queer children can do. Start asking themselves, sitting with themselves and asking themselves real questions. How do I feel about this? Not how does history feel about it? Not how does religion feel about it? Not how do my parents feel about it? What do I think? What is in my deep knowing? How do I feel? And I can guarantee you they're going to feel love. They're going to feel love for their child. And so I would go there. I would tell a parent of a queer child to go inward before you speak to your child. Go inward. Start asking yourself some serious questions first. And then once you have come to, I don't know, maybe hopefully some realizations about what love actually is, what it is to be human, then that will change how you approach your child. And you're going to go to them with just such different energy. And you're going to realize that queer child is in your life because that queer child is teaching you about love.
Hello.
That queer child is teaching you about life.
Hello.
And that is a gift. And then from there, you're limitless. We are all limitless.
Yes. And that's why I tell my clients, I work with the parents, because once I can get the parents to think about what they're saying to me, the kids will be fine.
Yeah. Kids
are so trusting. They're so loving. They'll do anything so you can approve of them, including remaining in the closet indefinitely. And so when your child goes off to college, like I said a few days ago, and then comes out as gay, they didn't become gay in college, my darling. They've been gay their whole life. They just found their tribe. They didn't just go to college. I did not raise no gay. No, honey. Your child was born gay. Your child was born queer.
And if I may even add, really, I think also queer parents probably initially are making it about them. And you've probably talked about this as well. It's not, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a parent, my child is like, what about me? Like, oh my gosh, what are people going to think? Like, they're making it about them and not about the child. So that's really where their own self-work comes into play. It's like, that's their own shit that they have to alchemize and transmute. They've got stuff that they have to dismantle and that they have to rebuild because they are on a shaky foundation, Twerk it out, honey. Twerk it out.
I am giving you some Nigerian moves up in here. That is so true. It is their own shit that they have to smell, sit with their shit for a minute and then work through it. Wow, Sebastian, Power Hour has been. We were joined by everyone on Instagram today, I swear to God. Thank you all so much for the love, for the welcoming. I love you for all the comments. Sadly, I didn't realize this, but when you go live on Instagram, all the comments go away. I did not realize that, so you don't get to see them. However, if this show was good, if this show was even remotely pleasing to you, do me two favors. Number one, send Sebastian flowers. But number two, follow me, because this is what I do every single day on here at the 1 o'clock hour Central. Second thing you could do, so number two, part B, join my Facebook group. It's for parents of queer kids and allies. If you say one hateful word, you're out. I'm not playing. Yesterday, I had a mom who thought she was smart enough to say that all the LGBT, there's a fact that people in the LGBTQ community all have learning disabilities, and that's why they settle for LGBT. I said, wait, ma'am, wait, what? I am in the community, my child is in the community, and so many people are in the community. Ma'am, can you please give me some vetted information where you got that from? She did, and I gave her three whole minutes, and I chucked her out and I blocked her. Yes, I did it. we don't tolerate mess around me. I used to be a commander in the U.S. Air Force. Go ask about me. I don't play. Okay, so that's by the way. And then the third thing is follow me on TikTok. I have a brand new TikTok channel. It's called @UChenna. Savvy Boss Pro. If you're still here, please type that down for me. @UChenna. The letter U, Uchenna. The letter U, Uchenna. Cool and 805. I wish I would have logged on sooner. You can go back and press rewind and listen, because my brother, my friend, Sebastian, killed it today on every level. So happy that you were here. And yes, I popped the cherry. So now we have released and unleashed the dragon. So now we're going to be going live every day. Mr. Sebastian over here is going to be doing that, because I never knew that there were an IG live virgin. What have you guys been doing? Yes, @UChenna. That's my TikTok. Let me pin that for a second. So my TikTok is @UChenna. I want to go to my TikTok now and see all of y'all have followed me, okay? And I want to get off of this live and see that all of y'all have followed me. And then 2C, if you know Jada Pinkett Smith or Gabrielle Union or Cookie Johnson, holla at them, please. I want one of them to be on my show. I'm having an event, the first ever of its kind in the history of mankind. What? Dr. Lulu with your coach bag. The first ever of its kind in the history of mankind or womankind or non-binary kind. A space for parents of queer youth. Watch this space. You will see the information is coming very soon. At the end of this month, I'm going to be doing a webinar, which is titled How Not to Respond When Your Child Comes Out to You. You don't want to miss it. So you want to stay on my page, you see. But I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell Sebastian to blast it. That's it. So Sebastian, you're hired. And I do have a question that is not related to what we're doing. Do you still act?
Now I'm, I do still act, but now I'm creating content because I really want to use my storytelling and my gifts to help others examine their own lives through storytelling, and then also to you know, bridge that gap and help create compassion and understanding to those of us, you know, to those outside of the queer community, our allies and the heterosexual, you know, cis community. But I'm creating content, I'm writing, I'm directing, I'm acting in some of the things I'm in, but I'm not pursuing that path of like the acting path that I was, because now I understand it was limiting, because I was so like, I gotta be an actor. And I realized just how limiting that was. And so now I want to serve others as opposed to just serving myself through the entertainment industry. So being a storyteller is part of my mission, and infusing this message into my Instagram even, and also the stories that I create. And just quickly, you did say, what would I tell young Sebastian? What I would say to young Sebastian is I would tell him that he is limitless. And that he is allowed to exist, that he has the right to be here, that he has a right to love, he has the right to be loved, he has the right to be inspired, he has the right to lead, and just try to instill that empowerment in young Sebastian.
Wow. And all the Sebastians out there. So Sebastian, I'm going to ask you from a selfish standpoint. And yes, I said it's selfish. Have you written a book yet? Have you thought about writing that book? Because, you know, I'm a book writing coach.
Oh my gosh, how amazing that you say that. I just started adapting my podcast because it's a limited podcast. It's 16 chapters. It's really kind of like an audio book. So I'm adapting that into a book right now. I just started. I'm a couple of pages in.
If you need help, here's what I can promise you. I will not charge you full price. I have written 4 best-selling books in 2 years. I might know a thing or two about that. So I will not charge you full price. Matter of fact, if you can get me to Gabrielle Union and Jada Pinkett Smith, honey. Because I look at
free?
one look at
free,
your,
then I get a free one?
Yeah, then you can get a free, then I will coach you for free. And I'm saying it to all of my future clients who are listening today, because I'm a girl of my word. But it's at the top of the hour, and Instagram is kind of weird. When you get over 1 hour, they just turn it off. So we got 1 minute. So thank you all so much for joining me. The show is called The Pride Corner. My name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Pow Pow Pow